Yeah, everyone has been training really hard. Josh, Jake, Jory, Ivan, we've all been training. Our freshmen that came in have been doing pretty good. They're starting to experience the fatigue right now, but as the season goes on, everything will start to get better. We'll start clicking. So the goals for the first three meets, what we're going to try and do as seniors, we're going to try and bring our freshmen up to us. We're going to kind of try and pack up, get us used to that pack mentality for when we need it for conference and regionals. But these first three meets, we're just going to train right through, and we're going to put more of our focus on the end of the season instead of try and focus on the beginning of the season and end up burning out. So racing at Amon, the goals for the team, I think we can make nationals. In fact, I know we can make nationals as long as we put in the work. We'd be perfectly fine, but right now, like I said, it's just kind of everyone's got to get used to each other. We've got to get our momentum back, and if we can take from what we took last year we had the fastest 10K average for MSUB all time. So if we can take that momentum from last year and use it towards this year, I think we have a really good chance of making nationals this year.
Yeah, I realized, redshirts, it was hard, just because I was just trying to focus on school, get me more time to focus on school and focus on other stuff. And then also this past year, I had to take about a month and a half off of just completely, running, just because I was starting to get stagnant in my training, and talked with Dave and my coaches, and we just all agreed that it would be good for me to take a month off, so I did that. And so it was a little rough that way, but overall I'm really back, and I'm happy to be back and back to training. So yeah, we have big goals this year. The big goal for me personally, I want to try to, be a big scoring member of the team, have fun, really enjoy my last year as a Yellow Jacket, and have fun with it. That's really a big year for us, and we host regionals, so it's going to be fun to host that. And really just, have fun, and hopefully we can try to make a run at some places and, really prove ourselves that we're a top-notch team and have fun and enjoy the last year.
Of course. As a redshirt season, you learn a lot as far as how you can train better. During that redshirt season, I was trying to run with the team and I actually got injured, so I learned quite a bit as far as rehabilitation and actually listening to your body. With that, I'm going to actually apply that to the team, actually make sure that they recover, and basically just stay consistent throughout the season. It's kind of a lot of pressure at first. It's a really honoring thing to be a senior and be the team captain and such. With that, I want to be more or less lead by example and kind of just be on top of everything as far as communicating with the coaches and then relaying it to the rest of the team. So if we have to do an easy day, recovery, stuff of that sort, I'd just be the guy that's on top of that. So that's kind of the leader I would like to be, lead by example, and hopefully have a great season because of it. Even with our time trial starting out, we started out great. We had a great showing from Jory, Garrett. They ran great times to start out the time trial. Very strong. Jory's coming from altitude. He was at camp all summer, so he's in great shape. Garrett, he's coming from a pretty solid, consistent summer, so he's starting to look strong, came on strong. As far as the rest of the pack goes, they're really tight. Ivan, Jake, Tyus, the rest of the freshmen, they're a really tight group. That's really going to help us later on in the championship season. So that'll look great later on in the season when we can build that bridge and really get everyone to close together. As far as the first two meets, they'll be the ones that are going to be kind of the base builder, kind of figure out how we're going to race together as a team, and hopefully kind of set the pace for the rest of the season. And if everything goes well throughout the rest of the season, once we get to conference and regionals, we should have a really solid pack and be able to just run as a group and move up through the conference and through the region. It's kind of perseverance is the big thing that comes to mind. You get 5 years, and be honest, it didn't start out the right way. But as the years went on, it really is, you come into yourself. And with that, I feel I've become a better leader and a stronger leader. And honestly, it's really not about what I want to see. It's what I want to see is for the team. I want to see a team grow, and hopefully because of it, we can start a really, really dominant cross country and track and a team, not just individuals. Just have a team go up into these big competitions, and we do really, really well. We'll be top in the conference and hopefully be one of the top in the region. So that's really what I would like to start. And as far as being a Yellow Jacket, I think that's the biggest thing, is growing and persevering.
Yeah, of course. Robert Peterson graduated, and he of course was the franchise last year. He was our top runner, All-American in track, and had been to nationals in cross country. So yeah, there's a big void to fill. But we had a pretty good group, coming up behind him, and a lot of young guys, and they put in a real solid summer. So I think we have some depth on the men's team, and I think that's going to carry us through the season. And we may even have a better team than we did last year. Yeah, we're going to go up against some schools over at South Dakota Mines Invitational this week, and next week we go back over to the Black Hills and run in the Black Hills State Invitational, and that's just something we want to work on some things. They're pretty low key for us. They're not big meets. They're just going to be a few teams there, and it gives you a chance to maybe work on some things. We want to work on packing up the group and getting the new runners kind of used to that 8K distance before they have to go into a bigger setting. Yeah, it's a pretty flat, fast course out at Amon Park, and big wide loops. We're able to train out there a little bit this fall, which is good. And I think the team's looking forward to racing on it again. And we're going to have a preview meet in later in September. See how things go. But we hosted 2014, and I think we got pretty good reviews from what I heard out there from the West Region coaches. And I know it's quite a trip to Billings. But I think it's a real fair course, so there's not anything to really throw people off. I think just the best runners will move on to nationals. So we're really looking forward to hosting that again. Yeah, the polls are the polls, and they're based on what kind of people know from last year, and I tried to guess at where other teams were too, and I made my choices, but it's really tough because you don't know how well the team prepared in the summer, and I think 6 is probably okay for us. We're hoping to finish somewhere in the top half, or top 5. We haven't finished worse than 5th in the last 4 years, so we're hoping to finish somewhere in that spot up there, and I think we're fully capable. We had a lot of improvement over the summer, and the returners look really, really strong. So I think there's a lot of depth out there on that team.